Thank you so much for coming. I know we are on day 4 of reInvent. It's been an incredible week, lots of new announcements, and so we really appreciate you taking the time to be here. I'm Christine Henley. I lead our worldwide partner programs for channel and go-to-market with AWS. And my friend Mike Eastman had a personal conflict, and so we're really fortunate that he was able to call in a huge favor and get us Rehan Shah here today. So Rehan, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Rehan Shah. I'm the partner sales leader in the US responsible for acquiring new customers with partners, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much. So we're here today to talk about accelerating new customer engagement and revenue growth. So just a quick show of hands, how many folks here are from an ISV partner? Thank you. And how many from an SI or consulting? And any distributors in the room? Excellent. Okay, well, thank you all for making the time. Really excited, and we'll take some questions at the end off to the side here, so keep those questions for us. So what will we cover today? We're going to talk about what going to market at scale means and why should you do it with AWS. We'll talk a little bit about what is a partner business practice and how to build one. And we'll talk about that partner profitability framework of build, market, sell, and grow, and close with a few next steps for you. I'll pass it to Rehan to talk a little bit more about going to market at scale.
All right, thank you. So the opportunity is vast. It's not limited. It's huge. You know, if you think about the industry, if you think about where the industry is going, the trends, what are we looking at right now? Just at the moment, and this is just now, the AWS Partner Network has grown to 140K partners across the 200 some countries and territories, right? So think of that as an opportunity for you as a partner, you as a customer, to work with each other and create solutions. So that opportunity continues to expand. And why scale? Why not just work with the larger organizations where the deal size is a little bit larger, right? It's because 98% of the organizations are SMBs, either small or medium. So that's the opportunity right in front of you, right? And this 98%, when you think of the small and medium organizations, 90% of them are going to consider some Gen AI solution in the next 2 years. So therein lies an opportunity for all of us within the small, medium, and that leading with some Gen AI focus. And as we go further, we're predicting that 2026, 50% of the marketplace transactions will be through a channel partner. Something key to note and understand. All right, so let's swap over now. Let's talk a little bit about the customer trends. What's happening from a customer perspective? So the big ones, right? First one is the industry focus continues to be an area of trend. And then focusing on customer outcomes, customer business outcomes. Zenove, who's one of our partners, predicted that 75% of the enterprise buyers will buy based on your deep vertical knowledge and expertise. So it's important to hone in your industry expertise. The continued focus, I mean, you guys heard, and girls, in the last 3-4 days, Gen AI, all over constantly, right? And that seems to be not just the trend, it's reality. So 81% of SMBs and mid-market firms are going to invest something in AI, according to Tech Aisle, in the coming year. So that's right there, a huge opportunity in front of you, building a go-to-market very specific to AI. And then lastly, also very important is the focus on multi-cloud, right? Multi-cloud was a focus not just for enterprises, it's now expanded. Even small, medium-sized businesses are considering multi-cloud solutions for different use cases. So it's good for you to be front center in front of it and building your business around it. So now I'll talk a little bit about some recent customer use cases where we've seen some outcomes be created and for you to consider as a partner. The first one is in Northern Ireland, Loch Nee has been building a toxic algae bloom, battling, actually I should say, that was threatening drinking water, and 40% of the water in that region. So the Department of Agriculture and Environment partnered up with private sector for a solution. And this is where AWS stepped in with partners. So partners build Ingram Micro, LG Sonic, and Whole School Software joined forces to create a Loch Nee AI-powered predictive analytics solution. And this solution then helped curated the right outcome for the customer and how to clean up this water and have a solution that's really solved for the overall environment. So a big one for us, right? The second one is an example, JDS, Woodmark consulting firm, And basically, this is about a global maritime logistics organization. The industry backbone here is really international trade, which is really dominated by a few large organizations, leaving small businesses at a disadvantage. But when it comes to real-time tracking or accurate arrival predictions, JDS and Woodmark Consulting teamed up to change that. Leveraging the SMB competency, GenAI rapid funding, MAP, and some of the programs that we have, JDS was able to help the customer, and they implemented a logistics intelligent platform that leveled the playing field for all businesses, not just large organizations, also for SMB. So a big one for us and a big one for you as well, right? Finally, in the healthcare industry, when I think of quality care, and it's becoming harder and harder now with half the organizations of healthcare in the US alone planning to switch careers due to burnout, right? So Care.com recognized this crisis and partnered up with Cloudhesive and Guidehouse to transform how care providers and patients connect. So this led to Cloudhesive's Amazon Connect capabilities and integrating a solution with Cloud Connect, or Amazon's Connect, I should say, with Epic EHR systems. That's creating a HIPAA compliant solution, an AI-driven contact center. That created an outcome in this situation for Care.com to continue serving more than 45 million families. So fast and furious, but in the healthcare, creating an outcome. And as I continue building on this, Christine, I go to you now.
Okay, thank you. Excellent. So fantastic stories. And what I love about Rehan shared is that it's not just impacting the community, but it really shows the power of when partners leverage AWS programs to help small organizations. And the only way to really do that is to build intentionally and consider how you're setting yourself up to go to market at scale. So we have a framework for thinking about this within AWS, which we call the Partner Profitability Framework. We're going to talk here today a little bit about the build stage, where you're creating capabilities and solutions that solve real customer problems. Market, where you generate demand and identify that customer fit for the solutions that you have. Sell and convert those customers into real opportunities and engagements. And then grow. How do you help those customers succeed and expand over time and find more customers that can benefit from a similar solution? When we think about those phases, there's one other factor that comes into play. When you're going to market together with AWS, we really see a partner maturity journey of how you interact and integrate with us and our programs. The first phase of that journey, we're calling the opportunity phase. That's where you have a solution and you've identified that customer market fit, but you're really working with AWS and our sales teams on an opportunity by opportunity basis, which works really well, but it can be very resource intensive. It's reactive. You're building relationships with sellers on each deal. You're building relationships with customers on each deal and pitching the value of your products over and over again. In this second phase, we switch towards intentionality. That's where you start to really make deliberate decisions about focus, which industries, which customer segments, which teams within AWS do you build long-term relationships with so that you're creating repeatable motions that will help you scale. And finally, that third phase is a business practice. When you really have a practice with AWS, that's when the magic happens. It means you've built systematic, repeatable approaches, hopefully some AI and automation inside that practice. You have clear metrics, dedicated teams, and a long-term customer engagement flywheel. And this makes each deal that you do less and less resource intensive and really helps you go to market at scale with many customers on the same solution. We don't expect you to get to this third phase overnight or in every solution that you offer. Intentionality really is the key here. But I'm really excited to talk a little bit more about two partner programs we have that really help you build this business practice and embark on that long-term journey with us. So just this week, we launched the brand new Partner Greenfield Program, or PGP, because we love acronyms. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this program. It provides multi-year investment to help you focus on new customer acquisition and helping more customers realize the value and benefits of cloud. We're also expanding our Small Business Acceleration Initiative, or SBAI, We debuted it here at reInvent last year and have seen incredible results, engaging over 30,000 customers through this initiative this year already. And so we're really looking forward to expanding it globally next year. Okay, so how do these two programs work? They both provide multi-year investments with the partner, along with support, enablement, packaged go-to-market solutions, packaged marketing materials, and other great information from AWS. That includes latest market research, customer trends that we're seeing, engagements with our sales leadership and marketing leadership teams so you can ask questions and understand how we're thinking about the space. The difference in the programs is that the Partner Greenfield program supports you in engaging customers in the mid-market and large enterprise size segments, whereas a small business acceleration initiative understands that to reach small customers takes a different type of go-to-market approach. And so we really partner with you on what that scale effort looks like. And actually the roles within sales that you'll engage with in these two motions are different roles, compensation models, and the way that we work with the partner. And Rayhan's going to go into more depth on that later as well. So, are you ready to build a partner practice? Let's talk about how to get ready for that stage and how to think about whether you're there yet. The first step is in the build. Do you have a clearly defined scope and target customer? And again, where you want to go deep with AWS may not be all the places that you can serve customers or can play or do have targets, but rather really thinking about what are 2 to 3 areas to really go deep and broad together with AWS. And then next, do you have those well-defined solutions and capabilities? Do you have a good training model for your team and execution ability? In the market and sell phase, we want to think about whether you have a dedicated team that has clear success metrics aligned to those goals. We have found that goaling is critical. If your goals look similar to our goals and we're aligning our teams collectively, we really see that business take off. So being intentional about who and how you're staffing inside your own organization and then which teams inside of the Amazon organization you're engaging with can make a big difference. And the second piece to this is, do you have a scalable demand generation practice? And that can look like events, but are they one-to-many? Do you have digital marketing campaigns? Do you have websites? Do you have a pre-packaged SOW that you use repeatedly? So really thinking about how you've made your demand generation less ad hoc and more repeatable. And this last phase in Grow is whether you have a robust customer success function. So do you have a managed service or a partner-led support offering or other mechanisms where you stay engaged in that customer account and look for their success long-term and play that business advisory role for your customers? So let's go a little deeper on each of these phases and talk about what AWS offers for you to help build out that capability. We're going to start in the build phase, which is really that foundation for your success. So we touched on this. For us, that build phase looks like having technical capabilities, a really clearly identified target customer, and developing the right solutions. Some of the most common questions that we get is, how do we maximize our AWS program benefits? And what I would advise is to work backwards from the solutions that you're looking to build and the customers you're looking to reach, and then identify relevant AWS programs that will help stitch together and help you go to market in that space. So rather than building from an AWS funding program outwards, I would think more about who you're trying to engage, how you want to engage them, and then identify AWS programs that you can stitch together to get the support that you need. And that's why when you look across, we have many different AWS partner programs. Sometimes we get feedback that it's perhaps too many, but the value in that is that they're building blocks that you can use to stitch together that go-to-market that really suits your company and your target market the best. And partners who are very thoughtful in how they do that provide really positive feedback about how these programs work together. So just as one example, our AWS Business Outcomes Accelerator, or BOX program, can help you identify and matchmake between ISVs and SIs that want to build a solution in an industry, and it will provide credits and support, SA support as well, for building out that solution, and then market development funds for taking that solution to market. And if you're interested in serving small and medium businesses, we have an SMB competency that can also bring you into that community. So again, you're looking at how if you start from what you're looking to build and work backwards, you'll find often there's an AWS Partner program that can support you. I did want to highlight a little bit more on that SMB competency because it is such a valuable program for scale, which is what we were talking about today. Within that SMB competency, we provide 3 huge benefit areas. The first is go-to-market support, provide market research, industry insight, customer trends that we see in our own data, and joint marketing campaigns and other resources. We also have an SMB solution community, so you can talk to us and other partners about what to build, what trends we're seeing. You can get, again, technical advice from our teams. And we also have pre-packaged starter kits that can take some of that build work out of your solutions. So really enjoy talking to all of our partners in the solution community. We also provide expertise validation, so you do get this badge that you can showcase to your customers. You get priority in our own AWS sales and marketing initiatives, including like on our website for SMB customers. We do local events where we bring our SMB sales leadership and our partners together and do networking and different events, and we feature you in our own marketing campaigns. So overall, we've seen over the course of the last year and a half that our partners in the SMB competency grow their SMB business 35 percentage points more year over year than similar partners who are not yet in that SMB competency. And that's why I really wanted to stress that here with you today and see if that's something that fits your business model to take advantage of. We are really excited to lean in based on that success and deliver more benefits in 2026. So we're adding a go-to-market capability assessment, which would help you self-assess where you're at in that journey, and especially in that partner practice building that we talked about. So really excited to debut that. And then you can build kind of a learning plan for yourself. We're going to offer more build workshops and roundtables. We'll provide additional market research and market development funding for SMB competency partners, as well as a co-sell workshop. And we're also adding an SMB track at our Partner Equip local events, where again, as I mentioned, we'll bring local SMB sellers in to meet with you. We'll also have experts, technical and business, come and present to you on our latest information. Okay, so a few tools and resources I wanted to highlight. There are many, but there's a few that are really critical to this build stage I wanted to make sure are on your radar. The first is Skill Builder. That's where you can see custom trainings. We have all different great learning paths for different role types. That includes marketing roles, selling roles, as well as technical roles. So check out a Skill Builder subscription. Really excited, just a couple weeks ago, we launched new managed services trainings into Skill Builder as well. So it's a great place to see that all. And we also have a partner analytics dashboard where you can view the training certifications of your team so you can keep track of how your builders are growing and learning. We also have the AWS Marketplace and AI Agent Marketplace where you can find solutions that you can consume and help you build your practice and your solutions out. So maybe there's an ISV that has built a component and you don't need to build from scratch, you can leverage their solution. Or a pre-built AI agent. In fact, this week we announced 3 new agents built by our professional services team, one around migrations I'm really excited about. So take a look, and there's a lot of ways that can really speed up your development process by leveraging existing materials. Okay, so some key action items. First is think about applying for Innovation Sandbox credits, especially if you're building a new solution. I think this program sometimes gets overlooked, so just a reminder to really work backwards from what you're trying to do and find the AWS programs that fit. Review updated competency requirements. We also have industry competencies if you're looking to double down in a particular industry. We've enhanced our AI competency as well. So there's a good suite of different competencies to pursue. Be thoughtful, but take a look at what these new competency updates offer. And you can schedule a solution architect review with our team, or if you're in the SMB competency, we can do a workshop with you. So take advantage of these great resources. All right, I'm going to hand it to Rehan to talk a little bit more about the market.
All right, so the next phase, market, which is one of my personal favorite ones. So as you think of market, same. I want you to first look at the bottom. Christine just talked about it, but I'm going to drive it home. Level the playing field for yourself. Make sure you are leaning into the basic foundational programs and competencies that we have in the certifications. These certifications then unlock special funding for you. That gives you a chance to provide that incentive to the customer, to your sellers. You kind of even out the playing field. The two big ones that we talked about today is SBAI and PGP. If you're not signed up, sign up, get leaned in, take advantage of these two programs that are big at scale. Let me talk about the middle one a little bit more and zoom in. So in the middle, this is the partner tools and resources. So if you're looking at Partner Marketing Central, what that is, what that means to you, that's a place where you can go get co-branded marketing material that AWS has already created for you. You just put your customer's logo, your logo, go to market with it, right? That's money and research that we've put in that you're taking advantage of as a marketing resource, fully available to you. The marketing develop funds, this is how you build your go-to-market. Depending on what segment you're going after and what your focus is, how you're accelerating those opportunities for your customers, or how you're incentivizing your sellers to lean in better, critical to lean in and get to know this. And then lastly, of course, we talked about the marketing tools in general, but just you really being the pro and the expert and having a designated winner on the team who understands how to lean in and what these tools are and when to use these marketing tools at the appropriate time. Okay, so let me highlight a partner, right? Innovative. And in this case, this is an exemplary job in the market phase where Innovative has a 3-step phase approach that's allowed them to scale their initial customer outreach along with retention and a proven marketing flywheel. First, they meet the customers where the customer's at. They do that by attending industry seminars and popular events and local events. So they know where the customer is present and what the customer is focusing on and what the trends are, right? So they've really done a very nice job of knowing that local customer and market that they're going after. The second is, after identifying the customer problem, it's really the speed, how fast they move in solving that problem and creating an outcome for that customer and doing it in a way where it's repeatable and it's scalable across a few 100,000 customers. In this case, they built a tool called Darusol IQ, that's what Darusol IQ that you're seeing on there, which is built on Amazon Bedrock, and it was developed basically for them to go leverage their past wins and use customer use cases, and they use that to accelerate how fast they get statement of works out to customers. So in this case, we're talking about what used to take them 2 weeks, they took it down to 2 hours. So just that reduction of almost 90% in sales cycle time means faster revenue for you and your organization, right? And faster outcomes for this customer as well. And then the third approach that they talk about is the 8 AWS competencies that they have, which has helped them accelerate this. So this is a good example for you to figure out as you expand your go-to-market and figure out how to lean in, a partner spotlight who's made some sense out of this. Call to action for this market phase as you think about how you lean in. The first one is evaluate what you already have as a marketing program, and are you utilizing all the resources that are available to you from AWS in the marketing tools that are available to you that we talked about in the previous slide. Second one is leverage Partner Central. Make sure you know which applicable funding program applies to a specific opportunity that improves your chances of actually helping the customer and accelerating that opportunity and creating an outcome for that customer as well. That's super critical. And then always just having a complete eye over your marketing plan and assess that. What does that look like, right? Keep assessing that as you're iterating, especially in the day of Gen AI, as you're building out your plans fast and furious, right? And then lastly, it's that identify, build, and execute a campaign, right, to support a co-marketing opportunity. So whatever campaign that you're running, make sure you have a framework, you follow it, it's wrapped around with all the funding programs, with all the content that's already available to you, and how do you make that compelling enough for the customer to get you a better outreach? Sell. This is the next phase of it, which is kind of where I sit. I'm part of partner sales, so I get to live this on a daily basis, so I can speak to it a little bit more realistically. Our cloud sales center, two perspectives. One is it's obviously there for us to create scale in our business, but this is also the scale arm for you as well. If you do it right, you partner up with Cloud Sales Center, this helps you scale your business as well. And Cloud Sales Center is a very significant investment for us. So if you look to the left, the two big pillars, it's the greenfield customers that are new to the cloud journey with AWS. We refer to them as greenfield. Or it's the small businesses that are still growing with us. And in those pillars, in the middle, you kind of see how we break down the sales segments: enterprise, mid-size, and small. Enterprise and mid, as you would expect, have an industry focus. And within that, we have 3 different types of roles in the Cloud Sales Center that you'll be partnering with. The first one is the demand gen team. Straight up, just very simple, like the way it says. They're executing on a demand gen plan, calling on customers, setting up appointments, engaging the unengaged customer. That's what their focus is. The second one is actually the seller. Cloud sales rep is an account manager. It's an inside account manager that you partner up with, that you co-sell with in the field, talking to customers. And then the third one is the SBI initiative that we created last year. Part of that was partner territory managers that sit down with you and build a plan at the territory level that you two then co-own. As the customer, you're the lead, and then you got the partner territory manager hand in hand working with you. How do we make that territory successful at a holistic level? So what's your lean-in look like when you work with the Cloud Sales Center? Straightforward, but I think it's important to understand these 3 intersects are ways for you to earn the trust of that Cloud Sales Center seller and scale your business through them. So that first one is MAP, our most popular migration assistance acceleration program, understanding what MAP is, how it's applicable at the opportunity level, and how you leverage that for the customer at that opportunity level. And then how you intersect and partner up very closely with CSC as you're going through that phase. The second one is just knowing all the, whether it's Gen AI and you're leveraging rapid funding, or you're working with Gen AI Innovation Center and you have access to some other funding for POC to get activated, but how do you align that with your framework to accelerate and scale as many possible POCs, obviously rationalizing the ones that make sense, that create outcomes for the customer, but it's a way for you to build a profitable business around POCs that then land in consumable workloads. And then lastly, we talked about this a little bit today, but Partner Greenfield program, new, we're super excited. When's it going live?
It's live.
Already live, yay! Everyone can sign up?
Everyone can sign up.
Yep, so take advantage of that, please. So let's draw some parallels and some comparisons. We talked about the Partner Greenfield program, PGP and SBIA, and you can see them both up on screen, right? Very similar. The core purpose is to help you build a business that's profitable and help you scale your business with us, right? So in the 2 frameworks, PGP is a fit for mid-enterprises and large enterprise businesses that you sell and co-sell with. And I'll use the word co-sell because it's truly just that, you co-selling, whether it's with the field sales or Cloud Sales Center teams, but that's what that is to the left pillar. And you can see the intersect is at the sell. That bottom flywheel is where you'll be working with the AWS sellers, whether in the field or in CSC. The second to the right is SBIA. It's very similar, again, for you to make the business profitable. But as we talked about, this is where you take the lead, you work with the partner territory manager, and you're aligned at that level, owning a sales territory. The planning of the territory itself, the tools that you need, joint marketing, and then just doing events together to scale across a few customers. But ways for you to make money, 2 programs for you to lean into, similar yet a little different. And Christine and I will be here at the end to answer questions for you if we've missed anything. Okay, so partner tools and resources that I want to call out for you that I think are super important. Nothing happens if you don't use ACE. If you're not the pro at ACE pipeline, it does not exist for us. We don't see the opportunity, you're not generating pipeline, even though you may have a pipeline, but we don't have visibility into it. So think of that as like the holy grail. That's where the relationship starts. That's where the go-to-market gets activated. Must lean in and unlock that motion. Super important. The partner analytics dashboard, I personally like. That's a way for you to look at your overall business, figure out where you have some stalled opportunity, what's the pipeline, what's coming in from AWS, what are you sending back out, what needs hygiene, So it's a good place to look at daily and be very rigorous and bring that operational excellence that you need to be successful with us. And then lastly, AWS Marketplace, we're leaning on you as a partner to help with customers see the value in transacting through Marketplace. Whether it's a greenfield customer, an engaged customer, small, medium, large, become that expert for AWS Marketplace. Be that champion that advocates for transacting through Marketplace at scale with your customers across all industries, across all sizes. All right, another spotlight. So let's talk about predictive. Exemplifies selling excellence. Knowing they want to reach customers with unique needs, Predictive partnered with University of Alaska's Small Business Development Center to kick off the competition pitch series. The idea was to give local entrepreneurs the opportunity to modernize their businesses through AI. Participants joined from communities across Alaska with ideas like better connect rural communities, making the wilderness safer. The winner, Arseneto, is the region's first AI startup that helps tribal communities find resources and events through a shared community calendar. And this didn't just stop in Alaska, by the way. The team created a repeatable model that was then scaled and supported across emerging businesses, while enabling them to adopt AWS technologies. Each winner in this case receives 25 to 50K in AWS ProServe services, plus mentorship directly from Predictive. So the team has been very successful through this series and has now expanded nationwide, embodying not only co-sell, but also co-growth as a partner with us. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of where in the sell phase you should think about leaning in. So the first thing is, as you decide where you lean in with your go-to-market across CSC, get yourself oriented. Is it SBIA? Is it PGP? Is it the small business that I'm going to work with, or mid or large enterprise? Get acquainted with those teams, get aligned with those teams, build relationship, start your engines and start co-selling. And it all starts with ACE. If ACE is not configured, not working, it's not activated. So that, I would say that should be almost first, but front center for you to keep in mind. And then align that, of course, with your business model as well, right? So your target audience that you're going after, what customer segment, what industry that aligns with. Based on that, you build your alignment with CSC within that specific segment. And then lastly, just review Partner Central, right? Meaning, as you work on co-sell opportunities, you make sure that you're always leveraging the best possible funding program that's out there for you to accelerate that outcome for the customer on that specific migration opportunity you're working on. Really important to understand that. Okay.
Thank you. So great best practices, and I always love hearing those partner stories because it really makes it real that there are partners leveraging these programs and helps show where there's success. So I want to close with that growth phase. Now that we talked about selling, how do we make that repeatable? And also remember that your best way to sell is really to engage with customers you've already worked with. It's going to be a lower cost to engage with them, and also that's where we start to see larger and larger deal sizes, longer term engagements, more advanced workloads. So this is a really important phase of working with AWS. Few key programs and incentives that we'll highlight here. In the foundational program sense, there's two key ones. You can be an authorized reseller with AWS. There's two ways to do that. You can become a solution provider in your own right, or I really encourage you to consider working with a distributor partner who can help you with the operational overhead of reselling, as well as help you learn across that journey, learn new AWS programs, introduce you to the right AWS teams, and really support you in that growth. And so that enables you to take on the billing and the transaction for your customers, and certainly starts that long-term relationship. Another great way to build that long-term relationship is through a managed services contract. And so we have a managed services provider program I'm going to talk a little bit more about there. That's what I would consider a foundation. Then we have growth accelerators. This is where competencies can help you prove your expertise and also develop and stay on top of the latest trends in different industries, customer segments. If you are interested to add a new service or new solution offering to your portfolio, pursuing an additional competency is a great learning path and way for you to do that. So it really helps you keep your team fresh on what's the latest and how to bring that back to your install customer base. We also have partner-led support, which I'm going to dive a little bit more into, just another great way to stay involved in that customer account. And we offer some really cool tools, especially through our AWS Marketplace console and vendor insights platform, where you can see a little bit more about what that next best sale to your existing customer base might be based on AWS predictions. In the strategic benefits section, as we spoke about, SBAI and PGP both offer market research, trends, and things like that that will help you stay involved with those customer accounts. So I'll talk about what's new next year. We did evolve our channel partner and resell experience. Super thrilled about some of the changes we're making to help our partners work with new customers for the first time, as well as incentives to grow customer accounts and to grow your overall portfolio on AWS. So really thrilled about that. We've also simplified the program because we know that complexity is the enemy of speed. So we're really looking at how do we streamline, make it easy and predictable for you. And that way it enables you to build packaged go-to-market offerings to move faster with your customers. We also launched a new benefit for managed service providers through the MSP program. So already we have a badge that goes, when you go through our third-party validation you receive, it showcases that you're a next-gen MSP in our eyes. We provide incremental go-to-market funding. As I mentioned, we launched a new skill builder training to help you and your teams. We've streamlined that application process. And now we've actually introduced a financial incentive that's a percentage of the revenue under your management, new for 2026. We're also building out an ROI tool. So for those of you who haven't yet developed an MSP practice and you're thinking about it, this tool can help you think about what investments to make and what that ROI could look like. Overall, we're seeing in our AWS data that MSPs who are validated through our program see 29% longer customer retention than similar partners who are not in our program. So really consider leaning in here. I did want to touch on partner-led support. Again, this is another one that I think gets overlooked sometimes, but it's a great way to stay involved in that customer account. Whether it's a large enterprise or small business, they all need support with their AWS offerings. And a partner-led model really helps you stay close to that customer, but then also leverage our AWS expertise and do custom training and workshops with us. You can lean on our support teams for escalation support. You also get assigned an AWS technical account manager. And you have access to our AWS support diagnostic tools and training. So we see that partners who leverage partner-led support on average see 2 times faster customer growth. I'm really excited about that program. We've also streamlined the partner-led support offerings to make them simpler and more predictable for 2026. Okay, so true to form, a couple key tools and resources that we wanted to touch on. Partner matching engine. So as you get those competencies and build out your expertise, internally at AWS, we've launched this AI-powered matching engine that uses your competencies and your past work with AWS to matchmake you to customers and surface your profile to our AWS sellers. So a great way to get surfaced more to our sales teams is to record your deals in ACE, as Rehan mentioned, and also to build out your expertise with those competencies with things like the MSP program that will really help highlight your capabilities with us. Skill Builder comes into play here as well because you need to be always developing that next set of skills. So coming back around, this is a great place to go back to learn more. And within that ACE pipeline manager, we have opportunity reporting that can help showcase to you how you're showing up in the partner matching engine. So where are you being most recommended and not as much recommended? It can help show you your strengths by industry, by customer segment, by AWS definitions, right? Because I know that everyone here has a different definition of what SMB looks like. And so if you want to see how you're perceived by our AWS systems, all of that reporting is visible to you through Partner Central, our ACE pipeline opportunity reporting. So really encourage you to leverage those tools. So one more partner spotlight I'm thrilled to share is a flagship partner, SoftChoice. They've really been on this greenfield customer acquisition journey with us. And a couple initiatives that they've implemented and seen great success is that they've leveraged the AWS Customer Engagement Incentive, or CEI funding, to create a flywheel of customer engagement on their own. They gave new accounts a credit towards their SoftChoice AWS professional services, which helped customers get started quickly and accelerate their onboarding into the platform. And then they leveraged our POC and MAP programs to quickly grow and move those customer workloads onto AWS. They also launched a Cloud Lifecycle Services Plus program that provides enterprise-level managed services down to even mid-market and small customers at business support prices. By expanding their managed services footprint, this allowed SoftChoice to get to know their customers more intimately and spend more time with each of those accounts. And building more automation into that platform means that their internal team can spend their time talking to the customer and understanding what that next priority is and stay on top of helping that customer grow. So these risks of investing ahead of customer growth have really paid off for SoftChoice, and that's contributed to their over 50% annual growth rate with AWS. So big congratulations and thanks for being here today. All right, a few grow action items to leave you with. So something to consider is scheduling a QBR with AWS. Again, a great way to do this is to get involved with one of our programs. Most competencies will offer you access to that team for a QBR. Our SPY and PGP programs certainly do, or you can work with a PDM to do so. But a regular business cadence helps you stay aligned and understand what are the learnings from the past quarter and how to think about growth for future quarters. The second is going back to what I mentioned in the beginning around growth metrics and KPIs. We really deeply at AWS believe in goaling and KPIs to say, what's our North Star? What does good look like? Where are we trying to get to? Because that helps everyone in our organization problem solve along the way and stay aligned with moving towards the vision. And build a one-team business plan. Make sure you do have a documented AWS growth plan that you can share with all those stakeholders that you work with internally, and also use to guide yourself and your practice. This is also where, as I mentioned, you can start to become intentional about how you're leveraging different funding programs together to really contribute to a holistic business growth. And this is something that will help you also get more attention and more alignment within AWS. If we understand where you're trying to grow, we can advise you better on how to work with us to do that. So closing, I want to come to a few key next steps, and I'll bring it to Rehan to take us home.
All right, so now that, thank you, Christine, appreciate it. As you've seen now on the partnership maturity journey, and you know the models that we talked about, right? The 4 different steps, which is the build, market, sell, and growth. And the intentionality really matters. I know some of us could be sitting at the opportunity phase, which is okay. You need a starting point somewhere. But I think it's just as important to move fast from that to being intentional and building a business practice and taking a call to action. Really important to understand that and know that and get in front of it. So as you think about that, I'll let you read this on the screen for a minute and reflect on it, but this is, are you ready for this business practice, right? So think of the 4 phases in your build, market, sell, and when you think of the defined scope and customer target that you're going after, do you have a clear customer identified that you want to go after and build a go-to-market? Have you mapped out solutions for that very specific customer segment that you're targeting, right? Important to do so. And then as you think about defined solutions and capabilities in the build phase, have your solutions been validated by AWS technical programs and teams, right? And these dedicated teams with success matrix, have you aligned your team structure and your co-sell motion? Do you have clear KPIs that then build on that motion for you? And as you think about the demand gen that scales your business, have you mapped out a programmatic strategy that scales? Do you have a pipeline process that goes across multiple tools and leverages automation as well? So you do that at scale. And then when you think of your customer success function, right? do you have the customer life cycle mapped out and your approach for that life cycle, what that looks like? And have you planned initial wins and long-term success when you think of this growth phase? Right? Some questions for you to consider, and really as you're building your go-to-market, building your business plan, as you're executing, have this front center sitting in front of you, right? Okay, so what to do next? That's critical. Actually, I go to you at this point.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm taking over your portion.
That's all right. That's okay. We're on the same page here. Before you leave today, we have 3 action items for you. First is think about that build, market, sell, grow pillars and choose one program from each that you're going to lean into. What are you doing to do the next build? How are you scaling your market? How are you co-selling with AWS? And how are you being intentional about growth within your customer install base? Second is assess where you think you are in that partnership maturity model. Are you opportunistic? Are you intentional? Or do you have a true long-term focused business practice with AWS? And then the third is please share this framework with your team. All of this talk will be posted online in just a couple of days. We'll be off to the side for any questions you want to ask us as well. But share the word and think about it internally. How are you aligning within your company to make the most out of your AWS partnership? So we've given you a blueprint and you have everything you need to be successful. The big question is, what will you build next? Thank you so much for being here.
And we're going to stick around for questions. We'll take questions as you have them, please.
Thank you.